and say his name 5 times, he'll appear behind you, breathing down your neck.
Close your eyes and count to 7. When you wake, you'll be in heaven.
Hello.
Hello.
They're here. Hope everybody's having a good night. This will be my last day off for a while, so figured I might as well get the live going for tonight. I won't unless I can get off for lunch in a reasonable time Sunday, then I probably won't be for the giveaway for the Sunday night thing. I don't think that's the last one of the month, though. Yeah, the last one is next week. And it's hard to say if I'll be working that day or not, too, because it seems like they like me working Sundays for some reason.
More people?
No, not really. Well, sometimes there is. It all depends. It does get busy on the weekends, and I got to work Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and I'll be off Monday. So, unless they call me in.
Hey, Grace. Hello, Dana.
I think the bot just got in there. Oh, well, I'll wait for a few minutes to let everybody kick on in here. There's a big FBI warning going out right now, which
Really?
everybody should already know about this, and they're scammers all the time.
Yeah.
Oh, beets, mushrooms. Is that what you had for dinner? I had
couscous and
pork roast or pork shoulder or something like that. It was
beets, mushrooms, couscous, and mini fillets with onions. Is that
onions?
I gotta wear my cheaters. Man, my eyes are getting bad. Watch, I don't have them too.
Oh. Oh, well, I guess I could, if anybody wanted to come up.
Oh, there they are.
Drop a link there. Because I seen Tammy Rebel Canner's here.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got. Hopefully, it's nice and cool like it is now. Probably not that cool because it was nippy today when I was out earlier. It was 48 degrees and windy, so it felt a lot colder than it was.
No, that's okay, Grace. I got my glasses. See something.
Yeah, let me go ahead and read this. FBI is issuing a new warning for all cell phone users, which is everybody on the planet, basically. In a public service announcement this month, the FBI warned of malicious actors that have been impersonating senior U.S. officials as part of a scam beginning in April 2025. The FBI notes that many of those targeted by the scam have been current or former U.S. federal or state government officials and their contacts. Um,
Hmm.
Now, I've been getting the ones where they said that the tax thing and all that, but
Yeah.
as soon as I hear it's a robot, it gets blocked. I don't talk to robots, so
No.
every robot that I know is trying to scam me for something. But yeah,
Phone's set where it doesn't even ring
yeah.
in the voicemail, and I
The
delete it.
malicious actors have
That's okay, Grace. I got my
somebody's.
Jim. Check your settings.
Yeah, as soon as Bushcraft let me in, the volume went up on YouTube, and I had it turned down to mute.
Yeah.
What's up, guys?
The malicious actors have sent text messages and AI generated voice messages, techniques known as, well, smishing, but it's called
Phishing.
phishing, not smishing.
Mm-hmm.
This is FBI and they don't even know the terms, that claim to come from the senior U.S. official in effort to establish rapport before gaining access to personal accounts. And one way they do this is saying that they need to get, they'll give you a link to click to a private, secure chat, unlike your cell phone. And once you click that link, they have control of your phone, meaning your bank, your credit cards, the whole shebang thing.
Yeah.
That's why I have a landline still.
Well, you just don't, even emails, you never click a link.
I know.
If there's somebody that I know and they send me a link, I still don't click it. I run it through a website that checks and see if it's a safe link. And if it's not, then I tell them they have issues and need to run an antivirus scan on their computer because they're sending out Trojans or whatever the case may be.
Right.
Trojans? You mean condoms?
No, it's a Trojan horse. It's basically what it is. You click on it and they get access to your computer and destroy you.
Hey, the funny thing is there's certain websites. If I go to a website and look up something about a stock, then I start getting junk emails from them. Isn't that amazing?
That's
Well,
because
that's Google following you.
Yeah.
Well, it depends what. Well, pretty much all browsers are that way now, but that's why I tell people to use a certain browser. It's Epic Privacy Browser. It blocks, like if I open just Google, not even search, just Google by itself, it's like 50, it blocks 50 attempts that Google tries to get access my computer. So every time you go to Google just to search in something, just the google.com, they're already trying to get into your computer.
Oh, what kind of vehicle did you buy the other day?
Well, it's not bought. I'm paying for it.
Yeah.
2010 Dodge Journey. It's
is that an SUV?
Yeah. It's pretty nifty. I've been going through it. It actually has 2 coolers in it, built into the, and in the back seat, or the middle seat, I guess you would call it. You lift up the floor mats, and there's 2 doors that open up, and there's coolers down there.
Secret compartments.
Oh, there's a lot. I was sitting there. I wonder who designed this.
Right?
This
Where were they
SUV,
25 years ago?
the passenger seat, you lift up the bottom of the seat, and there's a big compartment under there where you can store a bunch of stuff. There's compartments in the back, and it's just all over the place.
How many miles on it?
102 miles.
Whoa.
More than that now. Yeah.
Is that a 6 or an 8 cylinder?
6 V6. Am I gonna haul 2x4s and stuff in that? No.
Was the engine in your truck wearing out? Is that the problem?
Well, I think it's blown head gasket, and it's.
Yeah, that could be $2.5 to $3 grand to get that replaced.
Well, I'd do it myself, but
Nah, I just get some ratchets and sockets and get to work.
yeah,
I wouldn't pay anyone for that.
no, I've never worked on that thing, but that thing's got 351,000. Well,
Are you going to hold on to that, Bush?
Probably fix it to where I can get it running halfway decent, and probably sell it and put it towards.
Well, before you pull it apart, you should try that stuff I told you about a while back.
Already
head
put
gasket sealer. You put the head gasket sealer in?
From
bars?
Something like that, but I'd still need to clean it out, and I think
you think the combustion chambers have water in them?
Could be. I think it's because I can tell when there's a miss in a motor, just by the feel of the steering wheel and whatnot.
Yeah. Is it blowing white smoke when it's running?
It did when it first started.
Yeah.
And then it stopped doing that.
Well, yeah, because the rings, they heat up and expand and seal up.
Hey, doing that would be beyond my capabilities.
Just do it.
You could do it, Jim.
Learn as you go.
Just get a Chilton book. It's not hard.
The first head gasket I had changed, which was real easy, even though it was in a van, was a straight 300.
Yep. Ford van.
Ford's.
Yeah, that thing was a doozy because you had to have somebody on the outside.
Yeah.
To
that
lift
head
up
cylinder
as you
head
pulled it through.
Mm-hmm. That's twice as long as the regular V8 head.
Yeah.
Well, my father-in-law, when he was alive, had a Ford. This is back in the 90s. That had the 300. That thing had a lot of power for 6-cylinder. Look how big that is.
My mom had a 1980 Mustang with a straight 6 300. That was a real good motor. A lot of torque.
But I guess I can show you. This is an actual the back end of the same thing I got. I probably wouldn't go into this much detail. Try to get it up on here. There we go.
Nice.
It's now the only issue is not counting the wood, but these things, these slider thingies, forget what they're called, but they're like $200 each.
The metal tracks, yeah.
Yeah, they hold up to like 200 to 500 pounds. Of course, like I said, I probably wouldn't make something this elaborate because it goes way up into here and stuff. I'd probably make it go about this far or something like that, and this is the sleeping area you would have.
And that one part blocks your visibility right behind the driver's seat.
Well, that's what mirrors are for.
Well, yeah, you got the rear view mirror in the middle of the windshield and the side view mirror on your driver's door.
But like I said, I might do something like this just for, you know, a little storage or whatnot. And on this side, I wouldn't have these deep things right here. It wouldn't be that deep. I'd have a sink here and a place for the stove here. That way I could just stand up there and do my cooking and whatnot. But that's
different. You'd have to have long, flexible lines then that come out with that.
Flexible lines for what?
Well, you got a fire, right?
Well,
propane tank.
You get them little stoves. I'm not gonna like have propane or anything inside the car or anything like that. I've already got the stove, the little butane stoves.
Yeah, people take camping, those types. Yeah,
and just pop out sink, just something to put water in and wash some dishes or stuff. And then maybe a jerry can somewhere.
Yeah.
Tied down. Nothing, you know, elaborate or anything like that. But the thing is coming up with the plans and everything for that. There's places that will make them for you. It's not too bad, but it seemed the cheapest one I found was $359.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I think I could do better than that with, you know, buying the wood and doing it myself. The expensive part is the railing things.
Yeah.
If there's open and closed, it's spring loaded probably too.
No, it's not spring loaded.
It isn't.
No, they got latches on the front to where, you know, they don't come sliding out if you don't want them to. And you can put locking mechanisms toward the back if you wanted to, where you don't want it to come out too far. But like I said, I'm not going to get into making it all be fancy or anything. Just something to where I can pull it out and have a stove and a sink and, you know, something to put something on, to where I'm not trying to sit on the ground with a stove or something like that.
Especially in the rain.
Oh, well, that's where the hatchback part comes. I'll be under the hatchback part. But after they went and put new tires on it and got lined up and everything, and I took it out on the highway, and it was smooth compared to the first time. First time I went out was like
probably tire out of balance.
Well, the tire was bald on one side, which I didn't.
Right.
And that's why I told him, we'll put new tires on it. I said, well, you need to have the car lined up too, because that's a sign of out of alignment when one tire is bald and the other one isn't.
Yeah, I had to get new tires for the truck this year, the rear ones. It's not so much the wear, it's that they're starting to dry rot.
No.
Yeah, that's no good.
Well, I don't go to places. That's the problem.
I just put 4 tires on my truck, and I went to, I'm pretty sure it was eBay. and I typed in the size I needed and all that. And it was really good because locally they were like $130 a piece, and I got them for like $91, $92 a piece, free shipping. And then I took them down to a friend of mine. He's got a shop. He mounted and balanced them, but they had a little more aggressive profile than the ones that came off as far as the tread, but not too much. So you don't hear them on the road. It's not, not a mud tire or anything, but they're XL, which is extra load, which the other ones weren't. So when I go over a bump,
that's
I've seen them before. Yeah.
That cost $359. You see how short these rails are right here. Those are probably about $50 each right there for the rails. Now, see, that would be fine for me right there. Now this is not. This is more of like a little van. It's mine is a lot higher than this, so this would work for me. But I think I would be fine with just this thing, not that second part right there. You could see it from different angles, and that's what the whole unit looks like right there. And then you just pull the drawers out from there. But it has a little drawer over here, and then they do cutouts to save on weight and whatnot. You can see where they have the hot plate here and the sink over here. See it from this angle. That's how they have it tied down.
That's a lot of work, Bush.
Well, not.
I mean, for you to do it yourself, that's a lot of work.
Not really. I mean, I could probably, if I can get these things cheap enough, that's the thing. But
you probably could get a kit.
It comes in a kit like this, and you have to put it together and whatnot. But it's tempting. There's another one through here, but I think no, not that one. But that had all the measurements and everything, and I'm like, why would they put the measurements and stuff?
Well, probably so you can measure your own vehicle before you walk.
It had every measurement, the width of the drawers and the sliders and everything. Right. It was basically the plans. I'm like, why would they do that? Somebody just copy it. And
is that secured to the inside with ratchet straps?
I wouldn't do that, no.
Because that's what the picture showed.
Yeah, that's. I have things in the back of the car that I could strap it down to. Because if you use ratchet straps, your sleeping spot over there on the one side, you're going to be sleeping on that ratchet strap.
Yeah, that would be uncomfortable. Because I see a lot of this during the tree business. People insist on securing the tree with ratchet straps.
Well, ratchet strap has its place, though.
Oh yeah, I have
when I'm towing, I use them.
Yeah, that's why so my kayak didn't blow away.
Mm-hmm.
And the good thing about this is I can actually put all the seats down, even the front seat on the passenger side, and put it down and put my kayak all the way in there.
Eric, what do you tow with your vehicle? A boat?
Yeah, I got a 19-foot Stump Jumper. So you could put a tow strap on it, if you want to pull someone on an inner tube or something like that. So I've got 2 rings on each side on the stern, on port and starboard side. So there's 2 ratchet straps one strap on each side that goes down to the trailer, and then I put one over, not the console, but just in front of the console, and then down to the trailer.
Now, how many people can you haul in the boat?
Well, Coast Guard's sticker on it says it's rated for 6, but I don't take 6 there because it's got a tunnel hull. I can get in 10 inches of water with it because I fish with it. So, and it's got a jack plate, and you get the motor up.
When you get in the water,
All I got to do is finish my trailer lights, and I'm ready to go. Because, I wasn't going to say anything because everyone's going to be busting my chops that I have not going. But my local ramp is now open.
Oh, did they finally open it?
Yeah. So full disclosure, if I don't go right away, it's because, Charles, you know what I'm dealing with. So
yeah.
But it's it's open. But the county park, which is about a mile and a half across the bay, they haven't even started on there. See, this is a city ramp. The county's dragging their feet. So everybody that used to, launch over there, which has like 8 ramps, is now coming to where I normally launch, which has 2 ramps. So the overflow, it's just, and weekends, especially this weekend, Labor Day and Memorial Day, you wouldn't catch me. You couldn't pay me to be on the water. There's people out there that boat once a year, and forget it. No way.
What kind of fish do you get when you go out?
Redfish, sea trout, snook, flounder.
Whoa, I would love that.
Grouper under the bridge, cobia.
What length of the fish and the weight on the average?
I'm right by an inlet, so it could be 10-inch fish. It could be 100-inch fish.
Are there restrictions like on limits?
Oh, sure.
Okay.
Yeah, they're getting a lot stricter, which is good.
Yeah.
So, but the fish I catch, I don't harvest them anymore. I used to, but I just as soon go to the fish market out on the beach drive here, because I know the boat that brings them in from offshore, and I know they're fresh. So I'm getting more. I'll buy there, but I don't know. I'm getting more.
Still cheaper.
Yeah.
Well, then
I'm
it
getting
would be
more on the conservationist side.
Yeah.
That's why whatchamacallit, the title of my channel or whatever, it says snook, because that's my favorite fish. It's snook. It's like, look at it like it's a saltwater pike. That's what a snook is, or a saltwater musk.
You named it after Snooky from
the Jersey Shore. No.
Hey, grocery store fish has gotten really expensive.
I don't touch that stuff. That stuff's usually sitting in there for weeks and weeks and weeks. No.
There's no good freshwater fishing around here.
Yes, there is. You just gotta get into the woods. You gotta hit those small tributaries, get up in there, but then you're only catching, little native fish that you don't want to kill anyway. So,
well, according to the game warden, because his girlfriend works for the Fish Commission, most of the fish people catch around here are the ones the Fish Commission drops.
Oh, sure, they stock them. When I lived in Jersey, the opening week in Jersey, as Grace would say, forget about it. I'd drive by there, out in Clinton or wherever, Raritan River, Muscanagon. These guys are elbow to elbow. I can't fish that way. I need my space.
Like people around me.
Most of those guys that are there on the opening day, they'll probably go another week or a week and a half, and then they're done for the year. So I let the first month go by, and then I go out. But when I lived back then, back there.
To get good fish in this part of PA, like where the Schuylkill River is, you'd have to go up to almost Port Clinton Gap, where it's really a small river.
Yeah.
Because you get down this way, the water is just, it all runs dirty.
Yeah, I just go to the ponds, catch some big old bluegills like that.
Yeah, panfish are good.
Yeah. Yep, those things are nice and tasty.
The only thing that I buy that I like frozen is the sea scallops, which are the bigger ones. Bay scallops are the tinier ones. And most of them are sourced from Argentina. And some here, but they're grown on a farm. And you got to know how to cook them. And then the salmon that I buy is normally from Winn-Dixie. And those salmon are raised in pens that just sit off the coast of Argentina. If you go on YouTube and look at it, they set these pens up where they don't even have to feed these fish, because when the krill run up and down the coast, that's what the whales are eating. The krill runs right through these. I mean, these pens are like acres in size. And
Kinda
these
like
salmon,
the oyster
they just,
farms.
yeah, and they just fatten up themselves. And they've always got this flowing current. So, it's that nice
Clean water.
stream, clean water. Yeah. And that's the Argentinian salmon. It's the same salmon that goes up past California and they make their run to Alaska and all that. But that's where I get mine from. That's where I try to.
Well, people that live in Michigan, like I get trees from a place up there that's right near the lake in Allegan, Michigan, and they catch silverback salmon. The meat is red inside, not pink, red.
Well,
they're catching fish that weigh 25 to 40 pounds.
Sure.
Yeah, the salmon are big.
If you watch a video, TV show, whatever, you can see like a family of grizzlies, set up on a run, and they literally catch these fish as they're jumping up up over the rocks, and as soon as they tear them open, they're bright orange. They're the pink. They're the orange salmon.
Yeah,
I think a lot of it has to do with the diet.
Those bears eat good.
Oh yeah.
Well, yeah, that's all fat.
And then you get the morons that go up and say, "Oh, let me get a selfie with this bear."
Oh, there's so many videos on YouTube. Some woman in Africa got out of her car and she got injured by a lion. She's lucky to be alive. You don't go doing a selfie with a wild animal.
No. Can't fix stupid.
They've been trying to do that for a while.
And actually, I've been reading, because when canned salmon went up in price, they say the North Pacific Ocean's been overfished. That's why there's a shortage.
Yeah, when I was in Idaho, that was my favorite pastime, was catching salmon.
Oh,
I
could eat that all day long, salmon.
Yeah, we would be smoking, and there's nothing better than salmon right there on the bank and smoking.
Yeah, shoreline.
Smoking it right there, and then we'd be there for 2-3 days, just fishing, eating.
The best salmon dip is, a few months ago, my wife got some smoked salmon at the grocery store. Add that to cream cheese. It tastes so delicious.
Yeah.
And if you go to the store and buy salmon dip, you know what's in it? Halibut. There's no salmon in it.
Oh, that's like buying imitation crab and lobster.
Yeah, I would never do that.
All that is like a codfish.
Yeah.
Or a whiting, and then they just put, synthetic flavors in it, and sell it that way, and coloring.
I like whiting. Some people don't. That's good with tomato sauce on it.
It is. It is. We got
And
them down here.
that's gone up in price at least 50% in the past 4 years.
Yeah, halibut's good. I watch a channel that they come out with a video every Sunday, and when they're going from place to place, they'll fish because it's free food,
Right.
and they'll um, half of it will be cut up, and they dip it raw, and they'll eat it. They'll sit there and eat it raw, and then they'll have
Sure.
some for making tacos and stuff like that. And it's you know there's nothing fresher than catching it right there and then eating it 10 minutes later.
You know.
You know what's really tasty, and you don't find it really anymore. My wife and I, okay, real turtle soup. My wife and I, before we got married, we would go to this bar, and they had real turtle soups, real snapper soup. You ever eaten that before?
Oh yeah, my grandpa. Now I can't remember. Now I'm not going to go and try it, but there's a certain, and I think it's after 12 you can reach in and get the turtle out. But I wouldn't want to test the theory because there's a time when the turtle's head is out toward the hole in a bank of a river, and you
Right.
reach in there in them big snapping turtles and um, grab them.
How'd
There
you?
now there's like I said, there's a time before 12 o'clock, and there's time after 12 o'clock, and that's where you have to figure out which way is which, and I can't remember.
Yeah. Or figure out why you have less digits on your hand than you had.
Yeah. Well, dang it, it was it was after 12.
You wouldn't be able to do like that
Yeah.
anymore.
About over a decade ago, we had like a flash flood, and I looked out the window and I saw cars stop, and I saw a guy get out. There were 2 or 3 of these huge turtles walking up the freaking road. They probably left the lower elevation, and I mean, these things. I never saw turtles in nature that big. I mean, they were just walking down the road, and these guys got out of their car and they grabbed the shell and they put them on the side of the road like the drainage ditch.
Yeah, I've seen people pick up these snapping turtles and they'll hold them from the side like this. That head pops out of there and grabs them around the
You're,
wrist and instantly
you
snaps
got
their
one on
wrist.
your panel tonight. That happened to me, but he didn't get my wrist.
Ooh,
He had
Because
he had got hit on the road,
you hold
so
them
his
from
shell
that
was like
back.
semi-cracked.
the
And I was,
snapping turtles here are really small.
this was an alligator snapping turtle. He was
Yeah.
big.
I've had a few over the years with the mower because they're in the field after a heavy rain. I feel bad hitting them.
You sure that's not a tortoise?
I was going to say,
The snappers are probably this big to shell.
That could be a type of tortoise because we have them down here too. The tortoise,
yeah,
the gopher tortoise, they call
yeah, they're more land than they are water.
them. But anyway, I was trying to get this guy out of this 2-lane road because there was a retention pond right there, and his shell was already cracked. And I grabbed him. I don't know. He was probably, 25, 28 inches across the back. Not the biggest one, but that thing hissed at me, and you could hear its jaws snapping, and he's trying to turn around and bite me, and I just kind of dropped him, not on the road, but into the grass.
Whoop.
And I said, "All right, you want to be nasty about it?" And he just slithered down into the retention pond. But
Yeah, my grandpa would get these big turtles, and I'm talking the shells are bigger than I can put on the camera here, and he would get a big branch and have them latch onto it, and then he would take a spike through the back of their head and nail it to a tree or whatever, and then he would take a knife and go up under that shell and like that and rip that shell off and then start cleaning the meat,
Yeah.
I
because
wouldn't even know how to clean a turtle. Never done it.
well, I just told you.
Yeah, but I'd have to see someone do it in person. And
Yeah.
actually, every year when I'm mowing, after I mow a few rows of trees down towards the dry creek bed we call the drainage area, I'll see turtles, and I know there's snappers. So I get off the tractor with my gloves, grab them from the back of the shell, and relocate them, so I don't, hit the animal.
Yeah,
You figure they're doing a lot of good. They get insects.
they're good eating, but a lot of people don't want to mess with them. Jeff Barron, uh, you can watch some of his. He kind of shows it or shows the meat afterwards, I guess, because YouTube. Um, I don't think he showed exactly how to do it, but yeah, there's an art form, and my grandpa would. It was like, and it wasn't no fancy knife. He would use the old what you call it, the old butcher knives. Um,
Cleaver?
no,
Is there a turtle season where you can actually catch them and for cooking or?
there probably is. Um, my we didn't do the license or anything. Uh, we just walked down to the river and you would fish around for the holes, and then like I said, there's a certain time where you reach in and grab them because there's a time that they set out there at the next to the hole waiting for fish to come by, and they would snap out and grab them. And then there's time when they would go in the hole, which means their butt ends were hanging out, or not hanging out, but you would grab them from the back end, and then you would toss them up on the side, and the other person would put them in the back of the truck or whatnot. But nothing better than turtle stew.
Turtle stew.
Yeah. And a lot of people say, "Oh, it's too gamey," and I'm like, I don't know. I must just got I don't taste gaminess or something. Because I've got a critter and ate it right there on the fire, and it doesn't taste gamey to me.
Okay, if I had to be changed, if I had to change from being a human to an animal, I think I would choose grizzly bear. Just to eat the salmon.
Yeah,
Mm.
you, you realize what a bears have to do right before they go into hibernation, don't you?
They have to eat a lot.
That's not all.
What else do they have to do?
They basically cork up their back end before they go to hibernation.
How do they do that?
With objects and sap and things like that. And that's something you don't hear about, like on the animal planets and all that stuff.
I never
I've
heard of
never
that.
I found that out, and I was like, really? And it makes sense because they keep all that in throughout the winter. They don't. It's not like they go out of their little cubby and take a dump and go back in there and uh, go back to sleep. They sleep. That's what they call it, hibernation. They go in and sleep. Now there's
Oh,
some instances where like the freak warming or something like that, and they'll wake up thinking it's
Hey,
springtime.
Grace.
Um, and it's usually bad because then they're really hungry and they come out.
Well, don't groundhogs hibernate too?
Oh yeah.
Because I don't see them in the winter out here.
Well,
I wonder if
there's
they plug their rear run up.
nothing for them to eat. It's the same thing with squirrels and chipmunks and a lot of stuff. The only time they're like a squirrel and stuff, they don't hibernate like a bear or something does,
No.
but they stay where they live.
Yeah, but they forage
They fill a whole tree up with nuts and stuff,
with goodies. Yeah.
mushrooms, and if you see a nest of squirrels somewhere, which is a good survival thing, not that you're going to eat a squirrel, but you look around that area, you can find their stashes. A lot of times you'll see the ground where they'll dig up an area and they'll stash a bunch of acorns or something. Same thing with mushrooms. Squirrels they gather mushrooms to eat through the wintertime, and they'll have a little area where they dry them out and they'll stash them somewhere. If you find that's free food.
Because I know the manure piles, mushrooms grow on them in the shade if it's shaded. And I guess squirrels know the difference between, the poisonous mushrooms. The thing I wonder is, are certain mushrooms that are toxic to humans toxic to a squirrel? Because you figure some wildlife could eat stuff that'll make us really sick.
Well,
You figure goats eat poison ivy.
poor Jim.
Yeah, I see that.
Well, you get a little bit more hair up there now. Beard trimmings.
Actually, I have to shave, so that is a false statement.
Now my hair is the least of my concerns.
Yeah, that was a good movie. I like that movie.
What hair? Hair was a good movie too.
Oh, I didn't like
The 70s.
I don't do singing movies. It's bad enough when the Disney movies start singing, I just tone it out.
Oh, I like Jesus Christ Superstar when that came out.
I don't like anything singing.
I saw that
movie
on Broadway a long time ago.
Yeah, that was around 1973.
There you go. You want some beard glue?
What I wish I could find is a razor that actually gives me a cleaner shave.
Where's it at? There you go.
You better be real careful with that one.
Yeah. Now this would be good for skinning a deer or a cat.
Or a cat.
Say hi.
It's cold here too, Vester. Actually, I was watching some videos today where people are thinking we're not going to have a very hot summer. I hope they're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hear that.
Let them come down here for 5 minutes.
I know it got to 97 in Florida one day this past week.
It was
probably
already
that
in the 90s
today.
here. So
Okay, we're having one of the coolest Mays on record. I heard on the Allentown Weather channel today, and one of the wettest Mays. And actually, the back in 2017, Pennsylvania set a record for precipitation. That year, all it did was just rain. I remember that year having to mow a lot of the property with my billy goat walk-on brush cutter because it was too wet to want to take the tractor out. Yeah, the West has been actually, they've had hotter weather a week ago in Chicago than we've seen here in Pennsylvania.
Well,
And there's one day it got to 91 in Chicago.
it is called the Midwest for a reason.
Yeah, but the sun's been acting up too lately.
Yep, the holes in the corona.
Yeah. That also makes people moody too.
Okay, if we have a really cold summer, the climate people are going to be crying.
Well, there's always going to be a reason for something, or global cooling. Yep.
That's what they said when I was in high school. NASA and NOAA said we were going into an ice age.
Yeah.
Mm.
And the sun was more yellow back then than it is now.
Well, that's because our ozone is deteriorating.
Then the thing is, they found out that holes in the ozone layer let the heat out. Because I remember my sisters having a fit when they banned aerosol hairspray.
Yeah, that was
Grace, I don't want to get involved with Harry's because then you got to get blades all the time.
You want a blade for your face or your head? Which one, or both?
In my face. I've tried. I'll tell you, the best razor I ever had were the old Gillette Track 2. The ones that replace that don't last as long or give as clean a shave.
You remember the one where you screw at the bottom and put the in there? You had to have that little furry thing
I don't like those kind that you can cut your hand just replacing the blade. Figure when we were kids and you had to start shaving, that was the only thing they had.
Well, I found that something real good, and it's better than shaving cream or gel or whatever. Get the body wash and get it like the 3-in-1 body wash. I don't know if Dial makes it or whoever makes it. Meaning you can use it on your hair, the head of your hair, your body, 3-in-1.
Yeah.
And if you let that sit on your face, it doesn't even have to really be lathered up a lot. You get the closest shave with that stuff than anything that I've ever used.
Have you ever used a straight edge razor?
No. I use this in the evenings, then I shave in the shower.
Camping and fishing, yeah, I just use a sharp pocket knife.
Well, I mean an actual one where you use the leather.
No, I didn't carry all that equipment.
I used to watch my grandpa shaving with that thing.
Yep.
I tried it one time.
Whoops. Did you have a whoops?
Oh, I didn't. I got like about 3 inches and then blood started coming out.
Yeah. That's
then he showed me how to do it. And he says, you got to get this angle here. And if the angle goes too far, then you end up with the leakage all over your face.
Okay, there's so much stuff out there about the sun. How do any of us know? People say it could be burning helium, it's running out of hydrogen.
Well, the thing is, you can talk to 10 scientists from Pennsylvania, and you can talk to 10 scientists from Ohio, and none of them will agree. Every one of them will have different theories about everything, including eggs. If they can't agree on if an egg is bad for you or good for you, I'm not going to believe them when for medical stuff or any
That's
of that
just like
stuff.
when they did that crap about red wine.
Yeah,
First vino's good, then vino's not good, then it's good. Just give me a break.
yeah.
I mean, I've drank wine at family events, but holidays, but I'm not a wine drinker. Never acquired a taste for it whatsoever. And speaking of scientists, a study came out. Scientists in West Virginia are saying if there's a big 9.0 earthquake with a Cascadia subsection, the tsunami could be 1,000 feet high coming inland, way higher than other universities have theorized.
Well, I
Well, as long as it takes Harvard out, it don't matter, right?
are they they're supposed to be going to vote today, aren't they? About the new bill for
The
the
Senate passed it.
No, the House passed it. It's got to go to the Senate. The Senate's going to
yeah.
change it up, and it's going to send it back to the House.
Yeah, the House passed it by one vote.
I like the idea about there's two different types of loans. The one being um, goes by your income or your parents' income for that matter. For
Yeah, as long
college,
as they can verify it.
yeah,
Yeah.
not by what the school standard says what it should be for.
And they've got millions and millions of dollars in their coffers that they've had for decades, and they still get all of this government money.
Yeah,
I don't think
I don't get it. It's a crooked system.
the
and
thing is, the more concern you figure our taxpayer dollars paid to educate all the scientists in China and Iran that could develop nuclear stuff. Actually, all the scientists that developed the space program in China went to Berkeley.
Yep. Well, by the same token, you could say our science program jumped leaps and bounds when we got a lot of gentlemen out of Berlin and brought them here.
Hmm.
So, I mean, it is what it is.
But we shouldn't be bringing over these people from other country and giving them free education.
Yeah. Well,
well, they get paid for those free educations.
Well, it's discrimination, really. They get a place in college when American, you know, educated, kids don't get the free scholarship.
Well, they can. That's the thing. That's why I wasn't. I'm not a fan of that affirmative action thing where certain races get, and I don't think it's fair to them because you know instead of getting your a certain grade to pass that course, you'd only have to get like a C or something like that, where everybody else has to get A's. It's hurting that person more than anything because,
yeah.
but
Well, the kids that go to these Ivy League schools that get a degree in economics, they don't even understand the old school principles of economics. Because I've read posts of family members that know some of these former students that have PhDs, and what they're taught in economics is basically socialism.
I like my kids. Um, so I told them I'd help them as much as I could for, you know, getting them to college. None of them really wanted to go to college. My son in the army, he could do courses right now. He didn't want to. You know, it's not his thing. Um, my second oldest daughter went to college for a little while. Um, my youngest daughter, she went instead of going to college, she went to a vocational school and went into cosmetology.
Yeah,
And
Tech was big back in the day.
and and it's and still doesn't use that degree. She can always do it though. It's always good to have that knowledge. But again, you don't have to go to school to get that knowledge.
Well, in most states,
Most
say you want to be a
states,
barber, you gotta be a state licensed barber. You just can't
well,
open
yeah,
up.
you have to
You
have a
can't.
license,
Well,
but
yeah, you don't want
all you got to
anyone
do is
just
go and
there cutting your hair. I mean, you gotta have
I
some
cut my own
training.
hair. It's not that hard to take one of those hair trimmers and put the thing on it and just go all over your head and cut hair.
Yeah, but Jim, you still gotta have some kind of training. I mean, if you're gonna get paid for these services, you know.
okay, Brittany.
Brittany.
Yeah, Jim down there saying, "Oh, just buzz everybody's hair off."
Yeah.
Oh, oh, okay, I got you. That's what I'll do. One morning I'll wake up and I'll be like, man, my hair is too damn long. Just get
Yeah.
out the buzzer and right there, right in the bathroom, takes 5 minutes. It's
Hey,
gone.
we had 2 days were gone in the 80s, and I thought I can't take the hair anymore.
I I cut mine off.
Then it cooled off.
Yeah, it's all nice and now I'll get sunburn on the back of my neck.
Right?
I was telling they said when it was when I was filming the pie thing, and the pie thing is the lady that put the pie in his face, which the is the manager of the store. Um, she got the most something other. I forget what it was um, for the month. It's basically the employee of the month type thing. So somebody else brought the pie and it was supposed to be just whipped cream. And she went and made it a chocolate pudding
Oh boy.
pie. That's why he's like, you put something in it.
Yeah, but he cheated. He was wearing one of them clear plastic
Well, yeah, he still
bags.
had to work the rest of the day. um, and everybody, they were saying, "Oh, you look good with your haircut." And I said, "Yeah, I got to shave my beard next." Oh, don't do that! Don't do that!
Yeah, you'd have just
Nobody knew who I am. I come in there without a beard. You're not
just
allowed
do it
back here.
On your next live or whatever live you do. Just show up and just have no facial hair at all.
Yeah.
Do you have an ID tag at Royal King?
A what?
ID tag.
Yeah.
Okay.
Everybody. And I have my badge for being a
Forklift?
forklift driver, certified forklift driver. And I drove around for about 5 minutes and you're good. I'm like, okay. Which
Park it.
I've, I do a good job with it. I haven't ran into anything or smashed a car or anything yet. So, and I've had some, like, uh, Tuesday, we're running low on topsoil. So on the other side of the fence, there's where they had stacked them up on top of each other, and the pallet was broken and everything. So I just got the forks and lifted it up a little bit and then rammed into it and then lifted up, and it worked. I didn't break any product open or anything. And there's another one that's already tipped like this. Hopefully when I go back, it's already been put on the lane, but kind of doubt it, because it seems like the second shift is the ones that fill the lanes up, and every once in a while the lanes do get more stuff, but it's usually I'm the one that fills the lanes up and stuff, because it's slower and whatnot. Well, from 2:30 to about 7, it's pretty busy, and then it gets slow past that.
I was going to ask you that. When's the busy time?
The weekends, from start to finish. Next week all but one day I'll be closing. No, I don't get to keep the forklift. I just got the certification for forklift driver, which is cool because I can go get another job somewhere, because I'm
Is it forklift electric?
No, it's gas.
Okay.
Propane.
Yeah.
Oh, Grace, I got you, girl.
Rotten eggs. Ooh.
Oh boy.
About
I'll hear about it later.
10-year-old chips.
Sorry, Grace. See, now she's at it. There you go.
But I figure there's a kayak tournament in Ohio,
Oh, really?
that fishing tournament, and this lady that's in it signed me up to, and I think it's like you pay $50 and it's for the whole year, but you more or less make that money back. You have a certain amount, when you get there, you have a certain amount of time to fish and whatnot.
So is this total weight aggregate, or is it?
Well, they have each, like if it's a lake, it'll be for that lake, and then at the end of the season, whoever has the most weight at the end of the season wins a bigger jackpot. With, they have sponsors and all that other stuff.
So you don't get prizes per fishing days.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
There's two different ones. There's one for, which tournament you're going to at that time, plus
Right.
at the end of the season for the big one. And she I think the closest she's got was like 7th out of maybe like 50 people.
That's
And
good.
she says she just does it just for the experience and stuff.
Yeah. Is there a name to this tour that fishing tour?
Huh?
Is there a name to this fishing tour?
I forget. I've got the page somewhere to where I get to it. But there's the thing. Well, you have to wear life preserver. It's law.
Tournaments will let you go out.
Well, it's Ohio. It's law. I've got the one where if you fall in the water, it goes, psh, or it's supposed to. It's a little strap like this. So, yeah.
Yeah, you can find that on the tube. It happens down here all the time. There'll be a boat running full throttle and no one's on it because they got bounced off.
Yeah.
And the sheriff's boat will get up right next to it, and one of the deputies will jump onto the boat that has no one on it, and pull the throttles back, and they spend the next 3 days looking for the guy that was driving the boat. They never find him.
Yeah, kayaking is popular around here because of the creeks. Every year they have like a tournament on the Perkiomen Creek. With all the rain we've had the past 2 weeks, the creek's probably running pretty fast.
Yeah. It's big down here too, Jim.
Yeah, I can't I was looking at the river and I was like, I don't want to start my first go out on a river that's like whooshing down.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to have to carry that thing all the way back because I can't get upstream. Is that paddling it? Oh, that'd be horrible trying to get upstream.
I'll tell you, 2 weeks ago, all the creeks around here were really, really low. Everything's back to, they're saying the drought's over finally. The nice thing was this storm, it wasn't a gully washer. The rain came down steady, but not heavy.
That's
Well,
the
you
best
got more
kind.
rain coming. Because it yesterday and today, like yesterday we had 3 thunderstorms,
Yeah, we didn't have any thunder and lightning.
and today it just poured down.
Because I'm trying to keep the ground vertilled in the areas where I've planted a lot of little trees. Hey, the second dawn's here in chat.
Second dog.
Second dawn.
Oh,
Dash cam 101.
what happened to the first dog?
The second dawn. I hope you're feeling better, 101. Because around here, it probably happens in Ohio, where we've already had like storms where you got like 3 or 4 inches of rain in just a few hours. And that'll cause soil erosion.
Well, it's normal for different areas here. It goes way over the road, so the roads get closed off. It's nothing new. That's why I said I'm good. I'm up on a hill, so
My whole property's a hill. The only areas that are flat is like at the bottom of the hill. And then where it's a little flat, then it gets hilly right below it. Because I mean, Ohio is more flat than PA. Mainly because you guys don't have mountains out there. Because they call this area the Piedmont.
well, south of where I'm at, you still have the Appalachian Mountains in Ohio, the southern part.
Like the southeast.
Yeah. And just south of Zanesville, basically, where you get now where I used to live in McConnellsville. I mean it's you get in some of them canyons, and those are the best places to get ginseng because people don't like climbing up and down those things. You get about halfway to where you can see up and down, and you walk through there, and that's like gold mines because nobody goes down up and down those because it's too hard. I remember my friend was on the other side and I was on this side. We probably got about 12 pounds off of a little area just because nobody ever went there. And we were the type that if we found berries on the ginseng, we would actually bury the berries so that they would grow back the next year.
Well, he's going to be officially part of the Department of Homeland. He said, but I think he means of Homeland Security.
Of
Good for him. Is there any chance 101 wants to get on the panel?
well, he'll yell at me to drop a link.
Okay.
What'd you eat today, Eric? Oh, he's muted.
He's probably taking Jack out.
Did you, Jim? You have a can of salmon?
Actually, I had a can of tuna at lunchtime.
Okay.
Then for dinner, I had a beef pot pie, and I had a can of potatoes I should have eaten months ago. Because I still have preps that need to be eaten.
Yeah, I don't pay too much. It depends what it is. Now, if it's on a pop top, I'll go through that as quick as possible, but I try not to get the pop tops.
Well, I got my Ollie's 15% off coupon my wife printed the other day at work. So when I get to Ollie's outlet, I'll probably clear their shelves of canned salmon. And that's one reason why my blood pressure is probably so low. All those omega-3 fatty acids.
It's because you don't carry the cell phone around.
I told you guys before, and Eric thought it was too low. My pulse is like 48 to 52.
Yeah, it is low.
That's from lifting. That's from pumping the iron. My wife actually has low blood pressure. I don't know if the mercury levels are up or not on it, B, because it's all wild Pacific salmon.
So they say.
Yeah.
It's hard to say nowadays because they like they'll bring meat in and say it's from United States just because they butcher it here.
My blood pressure is usually anywhere from like 120 to 130 over 70 or 80. That's not too bad. Because my wife those blood pressure cuffs aren't as, my wife takes it the old fashioned way with a stethoscope, wraps the thing around my arm.
Yeah. Well, the when they do it around when they actually pump it up and
Yeah, that's what she does.
and do it, it's usually it's lower that way than it is with the digital. Digital is you can add a little bit to that or subtract it because digital makes it a little bit higher.
And actually, when they hooked me up to the thing, when I had my oral surgery for the dental implant, the doctor said, this is too small for your arm. He said, this isn't going to give an accurate reading. Because those things come in more than one size.
Oh, yeah.
Because my sister bought one of those, and this was like 10 years ago, and it said my blood pressure was 220 over 140. And if that was factual, I wouldn't be alive.
What, 240? That's not that bad.
220 over 140 is what her thing said.
Yeah, that was my normal blood pressure. I've had it up in the 300s. That doesn't mean you're going to die. That just means you're close to, you can stroke out.
Yeah, but the week after that, my wife brought the thing home from work, and then it said, "Don't go by what your sister says. That's just your cheap thing she got on the internet."
Oh, yeah. They had, like if I use the watch thing, it's always higher than if I take the blood pressure around my arm. And there's little gimmicks that you can do that can lower your blood pressure when you're taking your blood pressure. Like if you cross your legs like this when you're setting, your blood pressure goes up. And if your one leg is out further than the other, your blood pressure can go up. Because when I was having problem with my blood pressure, I went to the dentist, and I would get there for my appointment, and they take my blood pressure, and they said, we can't have you today because your blood pressure is too high. They'd actually put me upside down in the chair and do my blood pressure to try to get it low enough to where they could write it down as that. And I said, believe it or not, this is not 168 is not high. That's low for me. And they're, well, we can't do anything with your teeth and stuff when it's that high, because it's a high chance of, stroking. And I said, no, I'll be fine. And they said, well, you'll have to come back tomorrow and see if we can get your blood pressure down.
Because my wife started her nursing career at the ear, nose, and throat office, they would take the blood pressure of the patients, and they haven't done that in 25 years. Unless they're going to do, minor surgery, an office procedure.
No, that's when I go to the doctor, it's the first thing I do. I step on the scale, and then they do my blood pressure.
Because, like I said, she works for an otolaryngologist. The doctor's whole thing is if somebody's got a blood pressure thing, that's for the general practitioner to find out, unless they're doing surgery. And with insurance being what it is, they do a lot more office procedures.
Well, that's interesting. With a rotten corn cob.
Gee, when did you add that?
That's been there for a while.
Has it really?
Yeah.
That's a TH2 special.
Yeah. And figures 101 would get it. What'd you have for dinner tonight, Eric?
My sister dropped off at my pop's house. It was I wouldn't say mac and cheese. It was penne pasta with sausage and ricotta and, stuff that she baked. So it was that. And my brother brought over some public sausage.
Well, Bushcraft,
Great Italian sausage. You cook that too. So
Bushcraft should have asked me what I had earlier in the week. Because my wife she made German potato salad, coleslaw, and for 2 nights I had leftover barbecue chicken thighs. Now, since she's off tomorrow through Monday, I'll probably have gourmet meals 4 nights in a row.
I had pork shoulder.
nice.
That I had the night before, so I just saved half of it for tonight.
I think I'm having porterhouse steak tomorrow night if ShopRite has them in stock.
And that is all I ate for today, was 3 slices of the pork shoulder.
And I might have shrimp stuff with crab one night this weekend.
What the day before? Oh, I had a hamburger patty.
I've told my wife, make some hamburgers.
Oh, I have that way too much.
I
Because it's cheap.
haven't had a hamburger in months.
Well, it's just ground. I don't put nothing in it because I just kind of have, meat. So it a little over a pound, and then I mix some spices with it, and then I separate it and make patties, and that's dinner.
Our son's coming to visit Saturday, so I know we're gonna be eating something really tasty.
Yeah, I actually wore a jacket today when I went out earlier. It was that chilly.
I got the space heater on in here.
Yeah, I see it behind you. I don't have it turned no heat on because once the ACs are in, heat doesn't go on.
Come on down here for a few hours. You won't
Well, the other week when it got to 83 for 2 days in a row, we turned the air on one night. So we had to fold the thermostat. And I thought, you know what? It's not going to get that cold. Just put the space heater on.
Ooh, that sounds good. Salad tacos or taco salad?
And not that they're healthy for you, but I was looking into food ads. I can't believe used to be able to get hot dogs on sale for $1 a package. Now it's 2 for $5.
There's nothing healthy about a hot
I
dog.
know, but I'm just saying.
That's the slaughterhouse floor they scrape up and put into it.
I know.
It's the scraps of the
You're eating everything.
The butcher.
Ugh.
Same thing with bologna.
Yep.
Even if it comes from Oscar.
Oscar Mayer.
Do you know that?
Although Hebrew National, I don't know about their hot dogs.
They still use nitrates.
Well, everyone does, unless you're making your own, right?
Yeah,
There's nitrates in all the store lunch meat.
That's why the carnivore thing is so healthy, is because you just eat meat. You don't eat processed meat. You eat meat,
right?
Eggs and stuff. And you can't eat cottage cheese and stuff, but you have to, like the Walmart or certain brands you don't want because it's overly processed.
Seafood okay in that diet?
Yeah, see if it's not
fresh.
In a fast food, or not fast
right.
food, but the freezer section to where it's got preservatives and stuff in it.
No, I'm talking about where it's still flapping around when it hits the pan.
Oh yeah,
fresh fish.
Well, we don't have that here, but I did have some. Bueller's had some shrimp cocktail. I ate that up pretty good. I even had the sauce, so. And I'm still, probably once, maybe twice a week, I'll splurge on something. Like
like a banana split or something, right?
Yeah, I had another banana split last week.
That's a hell of a splurge.
Yeah.
I guess ring bologna isn't very healthy either.
None of the processed stuff is.
Yeah, processed food is not good for you, plain and simple. Anything that's got preservatives in it, or I should say, the store-bought preservatives.
Yep.
Now, if you use like fermenting and stuff like that. That's a good preservative. Vinegar type base stuff.
That's why Bobby Jr. is going crazy and the administration trying to get all this crap out of our food.
I wish he'd hurry up and get rid of that high fructose corn syrup.
Yeah.
Do you know that you cannot buy cranberry sauce without high fructose corn syrup? We've looked at every can of uh, cranberry sauce or cranberry, the jelly thing. All of it has it. I just make it myself, but
That's what my wife does. She buys cranberries.
yeah, but usually you can only buy them toward a certain.
Thanksgiving.
Yeah. I just, because everybody uses orange juice. I like using pineapple juice to make my cranberry sauce. And instead of using like regular sugar, I use coconut sugar. So it's a lot darker of a cranberry sauce, but it's really good and tons better for you. Yeah, you'd be surprised if you just look at the ingredients of like your bread. You go to the store, they don't use sugar anymore. They use high fructose corn syrup. And then there's another one I still can't remember the name of, but they have another corn syrup that is less sweet than high fructose corn syrup, but it's just as addictive and bad for you.
Well, I'm not going to give up my one glass of soda in the mornings.
What
As
kind
long
of
as it's
soda
not
you-
diet soda, because that's full of chemicals.
No, it's usually Coca-Cola, 7-Up, or Sprite.
Oh,
And I don't drink it in the evenings.
I like Royal Crown Cola, RC Cola.
Every time Dollar General's had that on sale, they never have it in stock.
It gets bought out quick.
Well, I said before, I've called up the store, and they say it doesn't come in. The Dollar General around here is horrible.
well, that's every Dollar General because they don't know what's coming.
They don't know what's coming on the truck.
Yeah, even here at the Rural King, we don't know what's coming in. They say there's trucks coming in
Right.
for the outside, but we don't know what it is.
It's just like Ollie's.
I tried to say I should be getting some commission for selling stuff out here because Tuesday I sold a trailer, I sold a rototiller, two rototillers, and I think that was it of the big ticket stuff. But that's pretty good. And he wanted a smaller trailer because he said he went to Facebook Market and he said I might as well get a new one because they're charging the same price as a new one on the marketplace. And he was going to get the smaller one. And I said, well, we do have a sale on these larger one. He said, well, I don't need a larger one. And I asked him what was he going to be hauling in it and stuff. And he says, a certain size tractor. And I said, well, this little one will haul that tractor, but this other one, this bigger one, has ramps and everything for you, and you have all this extra space to put like your other tools and stuff.
Is it a walk behind rotary tiller or?
I told him that the cell that's on right now, you can you get the bigger one with the ramp and everything for just $200 more. So okay, you sold me on it, and he went in there, and that was the first one I sold, and I didn't. They had a thing on the tongue to where you couldn't hook it up to a hitch, and I'm like, and he said, "Do you have a key to that?" And I don't know. And I have a key ring of keys, and so I'm down there trying each key, and I'm like, "Oh, I found one," and opened it up, and then I took the thing and I'm like, "Where do I do with this?" And nobody knew what to do with it, and found out that it goes on a doorway shelf, and that's our secret hiding space for those.
What brand of teller? Who makes the teller? Is it a walk behind?
There's different ones. Yeah, the one
Probably,
that I sold was a walk behind.
it's probably a Honda.
No, they're orange. I forget what it's called now. And he said put some gas in it, and I got ramps, and we'll drive it up. And I said, oh, we should be able to lift it up, because he looked like a pretty good sized guy. And I thought I didn't think it was going to be too heavy, and that thing was heavy as heck.
Have you seen the Royal King tractors that they sell? Because they have their own model tractor.
Yeah, and it actually left a crease in my hand for a good while, because I lifted it up by the guard on the tiller part.
Because Royal King on their website has diesel powered tractors.
Yeah, we don't have we just have lawnmowers and zero turns and stuff.
Because what they make would be too wide for me. I don't know who makes them. Because I checked out their website a number of years ago. They're like 45 inches wide. I'll have to look on their websites just to see what kind of rotary tillers they have.
The ones, because the ones that they have now are on clearance.
Not that I'm going to buy one, because nobody makes anything comparable to those old Howard rotavators. Because I got two in the garage. One weighs 800 pounds. The other weighs 750. A walk behind rotary tiller.
Yeah, he said the one he had before, he's had it for 20 years, and he said it's about time. And he was actual morel farmer, and he said that he went out and picked the mushrooms so he could buy that rototiller. And he says that it was no big deal. Because they're going for $50 a pound here now for morel mushrooms.
Because even
unless you go to the grocery store and they're like 75.
Because I know a guy that has sold a few of the BSC brand of rotary tillers. And I said, do you think that would replace the Howard? He said, no way. And they're not cheap anymore.
Nothing's cheap. Yeah, if you roast your own peanuts and then make the peanut butter, oh, it tastes so much better. And you roast your own peanuts. I remember the first time I tried peanut butter with just peanuts that aren't salted or roasted or anything. Oh, that was awful tasty peanut butter. Because there's no sweetness to it or anything. Because when they make peanut butter like Jif and stuff, they add a lot of sugar to that.
Yeah.
And salt.
Jim, did you hit the button again?
What button?
The one that's reverbing?
No, actually, I only have Streamlab open. I'm trying to see what kind of tellers they have at Royal King.
Well, if I was at Rural King, I'd be in one certain department, and that's where I'd stay for a while.
Yeah, they got this one, and you get a case, and it's a 1911, but it's
Nice.
it's doozied up,
It's probably a Max teller they sell.
and it's
What's the brand name, Charles?
I couldn't tell you. I went. Let me see if it, because they've sent it to me like 5 times now.
Don't forget, you get 15% off of that.
Yeah. And I can actually buy online and get 15% off.
Wow.
Oh, you see, here it is. Oh no, this is what I'm gonna hate. They're making 5 for $10 for mulch.
I say Royal King sells
No.
Royal King sells the same brand. Royal King sells the King Cutter, and so does Tractor Supply.
Let me see. Okay. Let's see if I can bring it up. Oh, they got another 10% off or something. I gotta
Let's
stop
see.
looking at this. See what
Let's
you
see
made
it.
me
Let's
do.
see it. Let's see it.
I'm not seeing it though. Ooh, dang, that actually looks pretty good.
Can you show it on the channel?
Yeah, I'm looking for the one. Oh, look at that one. Oh,
It already disappeared. That was
did you
bad.
hit the wrong button?
Not me. I don't hit no button.
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
about
they
2
might
and a
have
half.
removed it already.
They removed it?
Yeah, because it was a sell thing. Yeah, I don't see it.
Well, find the next best one. Let's look.
Oh, there's a bunch of different ones. I'm glad I got mine when I did, though.
What, a teller?
No, we're talking about guns.
No, we're talking about pew-pews.
Yeah, the Rock Island 1911.
Rock Island Armor.
$339.
45.
How many rounds does that hold? 11?
It depends on the clip.
Is it the 45 or the 9?
This one's a 9, yeah.
It's going to hold more than.
Probably 11 or 12.
I said there's no good place around here to buy anything like that.
Well, see, you can buy it from Roll King and have it sent to a dealer.
Yep. Then they'll charge $150 at least.
A dealer?
Yeah.
For a transfer?
Yep. Around here.
Wow.
You're serious.
I'm serious.
Really?
I'm in the wrong business.
I've talked to people.
That's a rip-off, man.
Yeah.
All the places that sold firearms around here 20 years ago went out of business. They're retired.
You've got to have some store there.
The people, they're chain stores. The people that are licensed, you go to their home and they transfer it.
Yeah. Well, why don't you get something at a chain store?
They're too pricey.
Oh, there it is.
Well, not when you figure the transfer fee is probably $35 there, not 150.
Yeah, I think Roll King charges like 19. Not
Yeah,
in a
because
store,
you're
but
buying it from them, right?
in a different place. If you send
Right.
it to a different place, it's like 19.
My friend was going to sell me a Taurus 38, and we called up a place about transfer, and the guy says 150. This was like 3 years ago.
That's nuts. That's half the price of the Taurus.
Yeah.
That's
That's how they
ridiculous.
make a living.
That's price gouging, man. That's a crime.
And there's
Like here, my local guy here, I've done some work for him, refinishing and stuff, just for, because he's a friend and this and that. If I buy directly from his store, it's $5 for the background check, and that's it. If I buy from him, because he gets the sales tax and all the other stuff.
there's one.
If I buy something off online and have it shipped to him, then the transfer is $45 because I didn't buy it from him. I had it shipped to him, and then he transfers it to me.
There's one place in Montgomeryville and one place in King of Prussia, and their prices are way higher than online. And one place, it's a shame, the guy died. He wasn't bad prices. And he supplied a lot of stuff to the local police, Insight Firearms.
Yeah. If you use the website and have it shipped to Roll King, depending when you get it, they don't charge for shipping, and there's no transfer rate.
If you buy it from them on their website.
Yeah.
Right.
And it gets transferred to Roll King.
Right.
Yeah. And then what's cool is I just go down there and show them my ID and leave.
Right.
Because it's all done for me.
Yeah.
When I bought my 870 at Walmart clearance, it was $2 for the background check. And this is over 20 years ago.
Oh, sure.
And Walmart none of the Walmarts around here sell any of that stuff anymore.
No, they've gotten away from that. I think they all have. Well, maybe some in this real boonies might still sell pews, but not in the cities anymore.
Yeah, free FFL transfer. Right now it's $9.99 for shipping on all orders.
There's a guy in Skippack Village that sells used ones. And I've called the guy up on the phone, and then I look up the prices. He wants almost as much for anything used as if you were buying a brand new.
Yep. Well, capitalism.
Well, once in a while the safety sticks. And I put
On your 870?
Yeah. So I put gun lube on there, and that solved the problem.
Okay, so the Mossy, that safety's on the back of the receiver, so you've got the push button behind the trigger.
Yeah.
Okay.
Once I called a guy up, okay, and this is in Pergamonville, PA, and he said, "Oh, that's not going to work." I said, "What would it cost to fix it if it sticks?" He said, "At least $220." That's a gun.
Is it the plastic one?
Yeah, that's metal.
No, it's metal.
Okay.
Everything around here, you can't get anybody to do anything for a reasonable price.
Yeah,
A friend of mine had a Mossy with a pistol grip on it, and it was I forget where he stored it, but it was locked up. You know, a pump, and it was locked up. And I just coated it with deep creep and let it sit overnight. And I took a hammer, but a rubber hammer, and I whacked the top of the the barrel and the side of the forearm, and poof, loosened up. That was it. And then lubed the rest up. It was a you gotta work the actions on them things, because they after talk, you know, after a while the weather and the elements and the things get locked up.
Praise the Lord.
Called on the AR, the thing you pull back, it's
Charging
plastic.
handle.
It's plastic, but you can.
Oh no!
You can get
what brand of gun was that? Anderson?
No. Dang it. Smith and
Bear
Wesson.
Creek, Midwest.
Smith and Wesson.
Great.
Really?
Other parts of PA are way cheaper than around here.
But you can order the metal one and
Right.
replace it.
Well, they're all they're all made standard. You could go into a regular shop and buy one for, you know, $50, $60, $70. I upgraded mine because it's got a gas port underneath it that actually lets a little, you know, stuff out after, you know, ignition, which helps with the cycling of the, you know, the magazine. And but it's all metal.
Yeah, this after checking it out, I went and looked at the reviews, and the year I got it, all those years after, went to the hard,
The metal one.
No, the plastic. But everybody says that plastic is indestructible, but why would they give you the option to buy a metal one?
Wow.
Well, I'll tell you guys a story. I know a guy, a family business. They actually did our septic system and dug the foundation out for our house. They decided to get out of that kind of business. And the one brother started, he was a licensed dealer in Upper Salford Township. He got sick of the nonsense around here, involved with, you know, selling pew-pews. He's doing better. He's up in Tioga County. A lot of people that were in that business either, like I said, retired or relocated, because he was saying there was too much red tape in the area. Actually, there were problems in his township over him selling those. I think he has a website. His last name is Barber.
Yeah, we have quite a few places in town that sell them, that are dealers.
My city's loaded with places.
Yeah.
And you got to remember, look who our past few governors were in this state. All lefties.
Wow. The worst state is Cali. Then it's Connecticut. Then it's Mass. Then it's.
There's a bunch of bad states.
I mean, they're just like Hochul, the New York idiot governor. She signed that bill, 10-round limit for a magazine.
Yeah, my friend, he moved his business.
Then it passed. The law passed, and then she had to amend the law, because every single policeman in all of the police departments in the state of New York all were carrying 17-round magazines.
Yeah.
And the law said you can't have any more than 10. These people are just.
That's what I was going to ask you is, what you were carrying, did it grandfather in? Or did you have to?
Back then with New York? I don't know. I didn't read the.
Oh.
I didn't read the actual bill and the law that was passed. But, you know, you'd think that you'd have the wherewithal to think, well, who might need something more than 10, seeds in it? And it's just, I don't know. Just common sense.
Because the AR, I've got the 25 beforehand.
Right.
Yeah, the game wardens and the state troopers carry them now instead of shotguns.
Now you can't. Well, might be able to now. Because it's changed a lot in the last.
Yeah, I didn't know
years.
Ohio had a mag ban or limit.
It did for a bit. I haven't been keeping up with it because I had already got it.
Yeah.
I had it was already in the books. I guess they were talking about it. Our lovely governor, and he's a Republican, so it doesn't make a difference.
No, they all drink from the same trough.
My township has an ordinance that you can't discharge any firearm. This doesn't apply to hunting though, except for a 22. You can't use you can't even use a shotgun on your property. But if you're hunting, then the game commission laws take over. It's like that. There are townships around here. I know people that live in a neighboring township. They can't even use a compound bow and arrow and shoot at a target in their backyard.
Yeah, it's pretty drastic.
Well, this state didn't used to be like this, though.
No.
This all changed in the early 80s. I mean, in PA, if you have enough ground and you make a legal backdrop, it's legal by state law and the game commission to go out and do target practice. But if your township has an ordinance that says you can't use anything but a 22, what are you going to do?
Vote them out.
Exactly. I was going to say.
And they're all my township's all run by rhinos. Because I forget. I was saying this. I think say you build a new house here, because Grace was talking about the rain gutters collecting water. If you build a new house in Montgomery County, you have to have an underground tank that collects all the rainwater from your roof. Can you believe that?
Yep. It's all about control.
Well, the guy behind us is building a new house, and he's in his 30s, and it's a 3-story, 3,500 square foot house, and the tank he has underground to collect the rainwater is bigger than the septic tank, made out of concrete. Oh, but they don't want any more runoff in the creek. We get newsletters like twice a year from the township, about, runoff, what the township's doing. It's ridiculous. And I've seen this thing, Grace. It's bigger than our septic tank. And the guy was laughing. My septic tank isn't as big as my groundwater tank for the roof. Because he said it's costing him almost $10,000 for all this stuff he has to do.
Oh, it's expensive now. Septic systems, just a septic system alone is.
Because we have a 900 square foot sand mound because they won't let you put an in-ground system in this county unless you have 6 feet of topsoil. And it was $10,000 in 2002 to have that installed. And we have the smallest sand mound you can put in. Other people where they don't have sewers, they're spending 30 to 50 grand for a sand mound. And some of these things are like 2,000 square feet because they base the size of the septic system on the bedrooms, the number of bedrooms in the house.
Yeah, just a well getting drilled. is so expensive now. I see people out in Oklahoma and stuff just going down 300 feet, and that's $25,000-$30,000.
Wow.
We spent $3,250 to go 250 feet back in
When was that?
2002, and we got another estimate from a guy that wanted 4750, and he's not in business anymore.
Go see how much it is now. They probably charge you 25,000-30,000 for it now.
Well, the guy actually, the guy that did it passed away. His son's still in business. He said if the the well pump goes, just to replace that would be about $1,000. And I've inquired and gotten prices from other places, and most of his competitors are charging double.
Oh, I was gonna say $1,000. That's cheap, but it's not that. It depending how deep it is, because that's a lot of hose. If it's a submergible, that's a lot of hose that you have to bring up.
Well, he said that's not.
It's heavy.
He says that's not a big deal. It just attaches the truck to it.
Yeah, but if you don't have that, try doing that by hand. I did 150 feet by hand one time, and you can't stop and rest. There's no resting.
Yeah, because it'll drop back down.
Yeah.
Because he put a jacuzzi pump in, and the jacuzzi company got bought out. He doesn't use them anymore. And he said some of those jacuzzi pumps his dad put in when he was a kid have lasted people 35 years.
I remember when ours went out, and this was in the 90s. It was $200 and some dollars, almost $300 for the pump. And I went and put a new chuck valve in, and my arms were rubber and you get toward there's a certain spot where you get to where there's a film on the pipes where it's slickery. You try pulling that out. Oh man.
And we have a redrawable well too.
A what?
The well's redrillable.
Well, all of them are.
Yeah, not all of them are. It has to do with the equipment they use to drill it.
Yeah, you put the bit back down the same hole and you drill.
You got to use a special kind of a bit, or you'd have to drill a new well.
Yeah, it's just the same bit. You just get a smaller one that goes in between or inside the housing.
Well, you got to use a certain type of casing. Not if you don't use a certain type of casing, you can't re-drill all wells. Because he knew we were going to use this for farming, they put in everything like the top of the line, everything back in there too.
One thing you can do instead of drilling, you drop an air hose down there, and then you crank it up and let that big air knock all the settlements and everything, and it actually opens your
points
water. Water starts coming through the pores and stuff more. But then you have to filter that out for a while. But it's a good thing.
I'll never forget when they hit water, it came out of the ground like a geyser. And him and his dad just watched that run for a couple hours before they just, then they said, it's safe to put everything down there and cap it.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, because this is on a hill, we have like all this water just running down the hill. I mean, they did this in, I think it was in the summer, and I was here. I didn't get home because the house wasn't finished. I didn't get home that night till almost 8 o'clock to eat dinner.
Yeah, I seen somebody, because there no cameras or anything are allowed in the courtroom or whatever, that
Yeah.
the Diddy thing going on. And they have artists in there drawing him, and the one lady says he looks like an old man. He says because he can't get his hair dyed and stuff, and his hair turned gray because he can't get a haircut or get dyes or all that stuff there.
And the major news networks aren't mentioning the president that was implicated in being involved with that stuff. Okay, it's only the tip of the iceberg.
Oh yeah. You hear about all the stuff that allegedly is going on.
Mm-hmm.
It's not even, you hear about 1% of the bad stuff. There's so much stuff that we'll never know, that only the top elites know about and stuff.
I'm gonna take the dog out real quick.
Yeah.
I'll be back in a minute. I got to take Holly out.
I'm gonna go ahead and end it here. It's after 11.
Alrighty.
Not sure about Monday. We'll have to see, but hopefully,
I'll take you out.
because I got to work until Monday, so
Come on, Holly.
no lives until then, unless
Okay.
I have one at midnight or something like that.
Yeah, come on. Go out there. Let's go.
But
Come on.
hopefully, I'm gonna start doing some more canning videos. Hopefully, I can get my stuff out in the garden. It's been raining and stuff, because I have to, like my buckets where I grow my peppers and stuff, I have to empty all the buckets. It seems weird. And then I have to put, stuff in it to replenish the soil, because you just can't keep using soil over and over again. Eventually you take all the nutrient out of it. And then I have to mix all that up in my Gorilla cart and then put it back in the buckets and then plant the plants in it. So yeah, got wait until it's not so muddy and stuff out there. But thanks everybody for hanging out, and we will catch on the next one. Probably Monday. And if I can, I'll be on with the Vineyard Chicks, maybe for like 10-15 minutes or something. But thanks everybody for hanging out. We'll catch you on the next one.
Have a good night.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Oh yeah. Thank you.